Hello. Shall I do a little clap again? Was that helpful? Excellent. No one responded to me. Today, we are talking about the song that I like to call Fix You. In this song, I talk about how I have a little bit of a tendency to pick people in my life who sort of are like a little bit wayward and have a few issues that need fixing. And I think I know who's the man for the job. Me. Obviously, I know that that isn't a healthy thing to do because everyone's got problems. Everyone has things that they need to fix. And the only way that they can fix them is if they do it themselves a lot of the time. So instead of, blethering on about a bunch of men who I've been with who are boring, you don't want to hear about that. They're boring men. I've decided to write a list of things I need to fix about myself, and I'm going to read those to you instead. Also, sorry that this is a late episode. It was meant to go out on Monday, and it's currently, hopefully Tuesday, maybe Wednesday. There's a reason for that. Is thing I need to fix, number one, I have absolutely no perception of time, and I just sort of exist on a day-to-day basis, hoping that things are going to work out. And usually they do, but most of the time I'm late for things, and most of the time that's okay. I have a calendar just there that I like to write things on because I like to see it like that, and I hate using phone calendars, but it does just mean that the only time that I ever know that I'm doing something is when I'm at home. So if I'm out and I'm making plans with someone, I don't actually know if I've got anything on that day until I come home and realise that I've double booked. And then I get too anxious to say anything, and I just sit in a pit of anxiety for like a week until the plan happens. And then I'm like, oh my God, I've double booked. I don't know what to do. This is recording this podcast has been an absolute nightmare because I don't actually know how long I've been sat talking. It could be 5 minutes, it could be 20 seconds, and I don't know how I'm still so bad at it, but I am still so bad at it. Number two, I have no perception of urgency as well. This is a fun one. I will be in the most stress-inducing situations, and I'll just be like, oh, it's fine. Things will sort themselves out, which is lovely for me, not lovely for the people around me. When I was doing my dissertation, my mum almost had a heart attack because of how relaxed I was about the whole thing. I started that a week before it was due and didn't feel any sort of pressure at all. The whole time. I was pretty chill about it all. If I'm running late for a train because I have no perception of time, I'll just saunter there. It'll be fine. And then if I miss it, it's a bit annoying. I'm going to have to wait at the station for a bit. And then I'll just, it's fine. I can get another train. Unless it's like massively inconvenienced my day. Like there was one time when I was coming back from Brighton to Mac, and I had oh my God, it was so annoying. I had an off-peak train ticket. I started my journey in Brighton off-peak, and I got to London Euston at on-peak time, and they wouldn't let me on any trains, even though I started my journey off-peak. And I did the maths. There was literally no journey that I could have done that would have been off-peak the whole way. Because if I'd set off later to get a later train, it was just so stupid. There was nothing I could have done, and it was very annoying. It basically meant that I just had to sit in London Euston Station for 5 hours until it wasn't a peak time anymore. That was really fun, and that time I did panic and I did not like what was happening. But yeah, in lots of situations I don't actually have any sense of urgency, which is it's fine for me, but I really do annoy the people around me, which leads to my third point. I have crippling social anxiety. It's weird though, because my anxiety kind of is I don't actually know what I get anxious about. I think I get anxious about the idea that everybody hates me. That's, I think, the crux of all of my problems. I just basically generally assume everyone around me hates me, and that's always a fun thing. So the social anxiety comes from, if I'm being introduced to a group of strangers, I'll immediately assume that everyone in that group of strangers hates me, so I just won't speak for a long time. I was in a band for quite a long time of my life, and I don't think I expressed an opinion in that band for about 2 years, and then I got comfortable around them, and then I started actually showing them my real personality, and they were like, Lily, you're an absolute freak. But yeah, it takes me a long time to warm up to people and to actually show them who I really am, which is weird because if there's someone a little bit more anxious than I am, I'll speak up for them. But yeah, I definitely have social anxiety, but it's about weird things. It all stems from the idea that I think people hate me. But this is leading nicely. I've written this list very well. It's leading very nicely onto my fourth point, which is that I'm a massive extrovert. I need people around me at all times to give me energy. I love being around people. And when I haven't been around people, I go absolutely stir crazy. But I am incredibly awkward and can't talk to people. So it's just an absolute nightmare. I go out to try and make friends, and then I sit in a corner and I don't talk to anyone for 7 hours. It's mental. I don't know why I do it to myself. The only thing that helps this is by drinking. And that is not good. It's never a good thing. When you're anxious and you drink, it gets rid of the anxiety, but it makes you act like an absolute freak. I'm an absolute liability on a night out. And it's because I need to be around people. And so I go to the pub with them, and then I get super drunk, and then I just embarrass myself for a while, which is really fun. I have a great time. I have a really, really great time. Next one is that I can't set my own goals or deadlines. This year, I'm trying to do... I saw someone talk about it. It was like 60 days of sexy or something like that. And I'm not doing 60 days of sexy. That sounds stupid. But what I am doing is, you know how there's like 75 hard? I'm doing 60 easy, where I've set myself 7 goals. I'm going to try and do them. And I'm on day 23 now. And the only thing that I have consistently done is get up and ready for the day every day, which is something that I didn't do last year. So I'm quite proud of myself for doing that. But everything else on that list, I'm just like, I don't have to do it today. Yes, you do. That's why it's a challenge. It's to challenge yourself. But because it's just me who's monitoring it, I'm like, that's fine. I know there's no punishment for me not doing this. Lily, the punishment is your happiness and well-being. If you don't drink more than 2 glasses of water a day, you will die. Maybe you should go and make yourself a glass of water and drink that glass of water, please, Lily Hill. Thank you. That's the repercussion for not doing that. But for some reason, I just have no, like I'll wake up, I'll be like, right, okay, this week I'm going to wake up at 9 o'clock every morning and it's going to be great. And then my alarm goes off at 9 and I'm like, yeah, but I just kind of said that, didn't I? Like, I don't actually have to do that. And I'll just lie in bed for another 4 hours. It's insane. The next thing is that I am overly self-aware, but it's always just a little bit too late. I can examine my emotions and how I behaved in a situation till the cows come home. I'm so good at doing that. Every single day of my life, I'm examining my own brain and how I responded to things. Is it always a week later than it should be? Yes. I'll go through a horrific situation and then a week later I'll be like, yeah, I responded that way because of this. That makes sense. Why couldn't I have that self-awareness a week ago? That would have been really helpful. Thanks. Don't dissect your own emotions if you're not actually going to do anything about it. I've been in the same cycle with different people in my life about 4 times. The exact same thing has happened at least 4 times in the last 2 years. And the cycle happened and I thought, I did that because of this. Great, okay, lesson learned. And then I just do it again. And then I go, nah, you see, I've done that because of this. And it's like, Lily, just learn your lesson, for God's sake. Stop repeating those same circles and break out of it, you know? Silly Billy. I'm like excruciatingly self-aware to the point where people are like, Lily, stop. It just stop doing the thing if you know that that's the thing that's making you sad. The next one is I can't move from one task to another. I really struggle to do things that I want to do. Like, I really want to read. I love reading. Reading is one of my favourite hobbies. Do I ever read? Not really. And it's because I can't move from one thing to another. And it's so excruciating and so annoying. And I just want to do something and I can't. It's like I'm lying in bed and my brain is going, just get out of bed and like read. Or like I'll be on my phone in bed. That's the worst combination. And I have so many things I have to do and I'll be on my phone and I'll be just like scrolling and I'll go, when it gets to 5 minutes past, I'll get out of bed. I'll get out of bed at 5 minutes past. And it gets to 5 minutes past and it's like, well, I was the one who said I was going to get out of bed at 5 minutes past and, you know, I'll just stay here for a bit longer. And then I'm like, I really want to read my book, actually. I do really want to do that. But I'm scrolling on my phone at the minute and, you know, I can't stop doing that. Yes, you can. You're not doing anything on your phone. You're watching brain rotty videos. You could be educating yourself and expanding your mind and reading and having a great time, but no, it's so annoying. Next one. I'm scared of my phone, but my job is on my phone. This is one of the things that I'm like, yeah, this makes me anxious. My phone is one of my biggest sources of anxiety in the entire world. It's always on silent, sometimes on vibrate, never on loud. I hate it. I never pick up a phone call. I hate it so much. It's the worst thing in the entire world. However, I make TikToks for a living. That is my job. And I want to go into like social media marketing as like a professional career. What the hell is wrong with me? Why am I scared of my phone? Just don't be scared of your phone, please. That would make my life a lot easier, actually. That would be really helpful. The next one. Anxiety is evil and the worst. That's the exact words that I wrote down. I suffer from the greatest amounts of anxiety. Sometimes it cripples me for days. There have been days. Last March was not fun for me. I was literally bedbound for 2 days once because of anxiety. Wasn't even hungover. Just was like, I've behaved so poorly. I'm just not going to get out of bed now. It's a real blessing when you wake up from a night out and everyone goes, oh, you were so funny last night. Whoa, love it. Huge fan. When you wake up and your sister's there and she goes, Lily, you were an absolute mess last night. And everyone's just like, Lily, what were you doing? You think, this is the worst feeling in the entire world and I never want to leave the house again. I have no idea about how to dress myself. There's some people and they are just very fashionable and understand things like that. I am not one of those people. I just like things with colour and I like baggy jumpers. The other day I wore a top that was a bit booby and a lot of people were saying, I got at least 6 people stop me and say, Lily, you look amazing. And I thought, I think I present myself as a disgusting rat for 99% of my life. I don't think I've ever learned how to dress myself to look presentable. I also don't understand I don't understand the concept of a uniform when it's work, apart from like if you're in like the police or the army or something like that. Like obviously if you need to wear like protection, then sure, but like if you're just going to an office, I honestly don't understand it. Why would you choose to sit in a suit for 7 hours of the day? There's nothing that anyone could say to me to make me believe that that is a thing that should happen. Oh, it makes you look professional. It makes you look like you care about the work. Just do the work well, you know? You don't have to dress in a suit to be able to work well. I've done a day's work in this and I did very good work. I don't get it. I don't understand why that's like a thing that like in society we have to adhere to. Don't understand it. Next one. I can't say no to people. Like actually physically can't say no to people. This is one of the worst issues in my life. I double book people all the time because I just say yes to everything. I have got myself into relationships because I can't say no. I just feel like I'm like, oh yeah, sure. Oh, okay. Yeah, that's fine. Just say no, Lily. Just say no. I have a really annoying, sarcastic, I'm the best humour that no one understands. I will always say that I am the best at something. I will never back down. And I've only just recently realised that I don't think people understand that I'm being sarcastic. I am the least competitive person in the entire world. I do not care whether I'm good at things or not. I honestly couldn't care less. But if you tell me that you're good at something, I will tell you that I'm better for no reason. The day that I realised that this was actually annoying and not funny was when I went to Porto with my sister and my friend Rose, and we were making Portuguese pastries. I can't remember what they're called. Egg something. It has had custard in it. It was nice. But we were making that, and the whole time I was going, I'm the best at this. I'm really good. I'm so good at this. I'm the best. Da, da, da. And I was like saying that loudly, and everyone like doing the workshop with us was there, and they were all American. And Americans don't understand sarcasm anyway. And there was this lady, she was rolling out this pastry, and I was like, wow, you're really good at this. I think I'm like the best though. And she just looked at me and went, you must be really hard to be friends with. And that was the moment that I was like, I need to I very much need to not do this anymore because, oh my God, that was mortifying. You must be very hard to be friends with. That stuck with me and probably will stick with me for the rest of my life. I was obviously joking. I wrote this on the train, and you can probably tell that I wrote this on the train by the next one because I never buy a train ticket and then I get scared that I don't have a train ticket. I always just buy an open return, and then the open return just lasts for a month. So I just reuse that again and again. However, on this train journey, sometimes if you get an evil train ticket inspector, they scan it and then a thing pops up on their phone and it says, "This has already been scanned." Usually I get away with it by going, "Oh, they scanned it on the last train. Something must be wrong with your scanner." This time though, she was like, "It said that you scanned this on the 27th of January. And I was like, "Oh, sorry. Didn't mean to." And then I went back onto my thing and I luckily had a different ticket that hadn't been scanned, so I did that. I have quite a backlog of tickets that I could potentially use, but I'm just always stressed. I could just buy train tickets. Just buy a train ticket, Lily, but I don't. I just can't. I can't justify that. I take so many trains that I cannot justify spending like £40 a week on train tickets. That's so stupid. That's so much money. It costs more money to take a train from Manchester to London than it does to fly. If we're meant to be looking after the environment, what is going on? What is going on with that? However, saying that, I will spend money I don't have when in a social setting. Going back to that Portugal holiday, I just said yes to going. I mean, that was a good thing that I said yes to. But I did just say yes to going to that holiday, and I didn't have the money for it. I just didn't. And I thought to myself, something will work out and I will end up being able to do it. I don't know how I managed to do it. I took the last money out of my savings to pay for the flights, and I thought, well, this is going to be fun. I had to pay my sister back like a few months late for the accommodation, which is a little bit annoying for her. But I did it. I paid her back anyway. And I just ran on empty for the whole holiday. And like, I'll go out and like, I'll just buy a Greggs at uni when I don't have any money. I'll have like £1.99 left on my card and I'll go, yep, it's worth using that money to spend on a sausage roll when I don't have groceries for a month now. I don't know what's wrong with me. I just panic and just buy things. I will take 12 hours to tell a 5-minute story, and I will tell that story lots. I am a chronic story repeater. If you're the first person that I tell a story to, you will end up hearing that story about 15 times if you're around me for the next week or so. And yeah, they're not short stories either. I'm an embellisher. Not in like a lying way, but I just love to tell a story. It's my favourite thing to do. So I will do it well, and I will tell the longest story that you've ever heard, and it will sometimes be very boring. Sometimes it's the most thrilling adventure of your entire life. But yeah, it will take me 12 hours to tell a 5-minute story. And this leads very nicely onto my next point, which is I never let anything go. If you have wronged me in any way, that's still in there. That's still in my brain. And I will still be telling the story about how you wronged me to anyone and anyone who will listen for years. I still talk about old, like, situationships from 7 years ago who were annoying to me, just because it makes a fun story that I like to tell people. And then they look at me like I'm insane because I'm telling a story about someone from 7 years ago, and it's like, Jesus Christ, Lily, clearly you still have a lot of unexplained baggage. I'm like, yes I do, thank you very much. Yeah, I never let go of anything, so you should never be mean to me because I will just keep bitching about you for the rest of my life. Like, my grandkids will know that you wronged me in some way. I will also only do something on my terms, but I have no self-discipline. So it's a really good combination. For example, I've gotten really into making graphs of like statistics that I've collected about my life. So last year I tracked every single drink that I drank. I tracked every single time I cried and every time I experienced any sort of anxiety. And then I made graphs and compared them to different points in my cycle. It was very scientific. And I got a 4 in maths. So I don't know why I decided to apply myself 7 years later. It's 7 years since I was at high school. That's disgusting. I will only do it on my terms, but I have no self-discipline. I can't choose when I will do that thing. I can't choose that. It will just happen. I will just hyper-focus into it. It's completely out of my control. But yeah, so I spent 5 years of my life trying to get myself to enjoy doing maths, and 7 years later I have been enjoying doing maths and working out percentages for literally no reason. Next, I write all of my thoughts, feelings, and uni work in one notebook that I carry around with me everywhere. This is the notebook. I have 3 of them, and the other 2 are being stored in a file over there because they are the first 2 years of university. This is the 3rd one. This has all of that information about my hormones and drinking and anxiety and literally everything. I've ranked people. It's insanity, and I just carry that with me. One of the most damning pages has actually fallen out, and I just keep it, and that could fall out anywhere that I'm walking, but I keep it, take it to uni with me. This has every thought and feeling that I've ever felt. Names and shames. This is basically my diary, but also I just do all of my uni work in here. So that feels like something that a psychopath would do, but I promise you I'm not. This next one isn't going to help me though. It's not going to do me any favours, because the next thing on my list is that I talk to myself out loud, but only in public. I don't talk to myself aloud when I'm like in my bedroom. I only do it when I'm walking around in public. Why? I don't know. It makes me look mental. I'll be walking back from the station and I'll just be like chatting away to myself about my day. What? Why do I do that? That makes no sense. And then I'm back here at home, haven't said a word in 4 years. Crazy behaviour. That's actually insane. That's the behaviour of an insane person. So yeah, I do that. That's really fun. And I've just realised that I've forgotten to write a 20th thing, but that's okay. That's part of it. Oh, I've thought of one. I'm the clumsiest person. I'm not the clumsiest person. I'm just a very clumsy person, and I'm a very messy person. I'll drop my food down myself. I'll bang into things. I'll knock things over. I'm not very good at like brushing my hair in the morning because I just forget. I'm just very clumsy, and I'm very messy, which isn't great. As I'm saying this, I'm realising I'm basically just listing symptoms of ADHD. But I haven't been diagnosed with ADHD, so I probably don't have it. But that is a fun list. You guys can diagnose me in the comments if you'd like. Diagnose me with anything. You know, you could be like, she's a massive narcissist because she set up a camera in her room and is filming herself talking about herself. And literally nobody cares. And you would be correct. That is exactly what I'm doing. I hope you're all having a lovely time. I'm now going to go read you a poem. Just talked about narcissism, and now I'm reading you a poem from my collection. I'm going to move you over here and we're going to read you. I can't remember what the poem's called. It's the title of the podcast. It's Codependent, I think. It's a short one today. Don't worry, Willow, if you're actually watching. I don't think she will be. I haven't slept before 3 a.m. for 2 weeks. Since that Monday, when I got that call and never picked up. The guilt I feel is tangible. This is the issue, though. I need to be there for you, no matter what. But you don't always need me. So I'll stay up until the early hours, not sure if you're going to need some company. And when I need some, you'll be with her. Which is fine. It's good that you can move on. I'll be fine. I'll just be a little tired in the morning. And that is where I came up with the lyric. I'll just be a little tired when I wake up in the morning, love. But you guys don't know that yet because the song isn't out. Keep your eyes peeled. Thank you very much for watching, everybody. Bye bye.